Hi, welcome to Derek Does. Today, we're gonna do this. This is my 1969 Bulova Deep Sea Chronograph. Take a look. I just fell in love with this watch. I bought it about 8 years ago or so. I think I saw one and I thought, wow, that's just amazing. I just had to get one, and I searched for a long time, and finally on eBay, I think one popped up. Of course, that was 8 years ago prices, so it was a lot less than what it is today. But as you can see, it's just a beautiful watch. It's a 2-register chronograph watch. It's a manual wind. And it has I believe they pronounce Voyageur 7733 movement inside it. This particular watch, 1969, has got what they call a ghost dial on it because it's faded. This beautiful grayish blue. Obviously, it was a lot darker probably when it was new, but they call it a ghost dial because it's just kind of faded away, but it still holds its looks really, really well. It's a nice watch. It's a dive watch, and it's rated for 666 feet. So it is a double diver, and so it's rated for 220 meters or 200 meters. I'll show you kind of the features of it. As you can see, Swiss made, and it is has the T on it, so it's trinium. And it does somewhat still kind of glow in the dark. This is your second hand, this dial there. As you can see, it's ticking away. And it has a stopwatch feature that when you press that button in, the stopwatch begins. You can also just leave that running, because I know a lot of guys kind of like to see that. I kind of like to see the second hands move. Even though this isn't a second hand, it really is. So you can go and then you can stop it, when you're timing something, and then you can just return to center again. So we'll get that going. On this register here, it actually tells you the elapsed time of the stopwatch, and it's a 30-second. Goes from, as you can see, there's 10. You can't see it right now, but below that is actually a 20, and above that is the 30. So it does go for 30-second time intervals. So if you're not paying attention, though, if you're timing something for a couple hours, you might as well forget it, because you'll have to keep track somewhere else. It does have a rotating bi-directional. It doesn't click, but it is tight and holds its place. So it has a rotating dial on it. It's the sides. It's all stainless. Right now I have it on a NATO strap. Before I had it on a bracelet, it was a Jubilee-ish style, but it never quite fit right because it didn't come with the watch. When I got the watch, it was just this part of it. It didn't come with the strap or anything, and I put it on there, and it looks good, but I think it looks good in a NATO also. The grays kind of pick up the gray and the ghost dial. I'll show you the back side. So there you can see it's Bulova stainless steel. 666 feet, has a serial number, and it also has an M9. If you're not familiar with Bulova, Bulova is one of my favorite watches. It really is, especially these old watches. I don't know about the new stuff, but I love the old Bulovas. The M means 1960s. So when you see M9, that means it's 1969. When you see an N, that's 1970s. So if you see like an N5, that's 1975. N0, 1970. So this is the last year of the 60s for Bulova, for this particular style. They made this style, I think, up until like the mid-70s. Then after that, probably the Accutron stuff came out, and they kind of like got away from mechanical watches and got more into the tuning fork stuff. This, I think, is the last year for it not to say oceanographer underneath the Bulova. I think in 1970 they added that, so it's kind of a rare watch in the fact that it has less verbiage on the face than what the later models have. But they would later have that, which kind of tells you the difference on the years. This particular one just is, for me, is fantastic. It still has the luminescence there in the 0 marker, and then all those. It hasn't been, if you look, you know, it just hasn't been abused. So I lucked out when I got this one. It's just really nice. When I first got it, I sent it off. I found a guy that specializes in these 70s chronometer movements, and sent it off to him, and he did a complete tear down, cleaning, oiling, got everything back together. I think actually this top piece had a issue on the timer, so he was able to fix that. I think a screw was missing or something had happened. I kind of like the feature because you can just go and then you're timing away. And I love the auto return. And the auto return actually returns both the elapsed time and the time for the, I'll just let it go and maybe we'll get a little bit in there and I'll show you the elapsed time and the timer right there. If you're gonna look for one of these, obviously look for one that isn't completely beat up. Again, this is a 53-year-old watch. So it's, you know, it's an older watch for sure. And obviously it wasn't used for 53 years straight. So it hasn't worn out like completely or anything like that. But again, to set it, it's just a pull out, and then you can set it and push it in, and it's just a manual wind like a moon watch. You just have to manually do that. So that's another reason why, even though it's called a dive watch, I don't know if I would actually dive in it, simply because this isn't a screw down and these aren't a screw down. I mean, it's not like a Daytona where you actually would screw that stuff down and be watertight. Maybe when it was new, it was watertight, but this particular one, I wouldn't go diving in it. It might be okay for a little bit, but definitely not the depths it says it can go to. All right, so it's gone a little bit here. Let's take a look and I'll show you the, we're gonna stop it. And then if I hit return, watch the that one and this one pops right back up. It's kind of nice. I took a video too of the internals. I had to take the back off because I was trying to figure out when I pulled it out of my rotation, this button wasn't working correctly. And I wanted to see if everything looked okay, and it did. And as it turns out, I just wasn't pushing it enough. Actually, you really have to push to click it in there. I just wasn't pushing it hard enough. But I took a video of the back off so you can see the movement. It's a 17 joule, and it's actually dated also with an M9 so that you know the movement is the same as the watch. So it hasn't been, it's not a Frankenstein watch, it's all original. I'm not sure what the original band that it came with was. If anyone knows, I'd appreciate that. I know I've looked, but I've never actually seen one with an original band. I'm assuming it was just a strap. Maybe it was leather, I'm not sure. But this one, of course, has the NATO band with it. So that's my 1969 Bulova Deep Sea Chronograph with the ghost dial. A watch that I really, really like. If you like this sort of content, I'm gonna have a few more of them. I've got a couple 70s watches I'm gonna show you, and maybe some older ones too. I've got a few watches, not a lot, but some. If you like this sort of content, please subscribe, comment, like. If you have one, let me know, because I don't see a lot of them. And it's just a really nice watch. If you ever see one, pick one up. You'll be happy with it. All right, see you next time.